daisy, oopsie daisy, oopsie daisy, oopsie daisy. Hey Frank, how are you, Frank? Just going to be a little short stream tonight. I'm on my own, so tonight, so I won't be on long. I just wait for another few people to tune in, and then hopefully get things kicked off. Although I'm in no hurry to get over there, because where them lights are coming from, it's a guy digging a grave, and that is the actual road that I want to go to. I'm looking to go to the grave of the 2 Canadian airmen tonight and try and get in contact with them. So, hello Ryan, how's things? So 4 people watching. Guys, just bear with me for a few minutes, because I didn't know this until I came into the graveyard. But the road that I'm aiming to investigate this evening, basically I want to go to the graves of the 2 Canadian airmen that we didn't get done the last time we were here. But that particular road, there's a guy there digging a grave, but he's promised me that he'll be finished within the next 15 minutes. So if you can just bear with me, and we'll just take a little walk about and see if there's basically if there's anywhere else we can do, or any other graves, because it's been my plan to go to the grave of the Canadian airmen this past while, and the night myself and Damien did it, we couldn't find the grave that particular night. I actually had to come down the next day in daylight and walk around the graveyard, and eventually found it. Hello Jeff. So, by the way guys, nobody is with me tonight. Every investigation I've done, there's always been somebody here. I'm on my own tonight. Clodagh had a last minute emergency, her car broke down. So, unfortunately she's had to go and get that towed away, and then had to go and get a new battery. So she'll not be able to make it, and it was too late to sort of ask one of the other lads. So just bear with me for about maybe 10-15 minutes guys, until that grave digger goes away. As soon as he goes away, we'll get straight over to the Canadian airmen's grave and see. We'll get a spirit box session done. We'll start off with the motion sensor light anyway and see what happens there. Then we'll turn on the spirit box, and I'm not planning for a long investigation tonight, because basically the weather's buggered everything up this past while. Before all these storms and rain started coming, we were easily getting an investigation a week, and we were getting out for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours each night that we did the investigation. But the weather's just that crap at the minute. We can't even guarantee investigations on certain nights. Thank you for sharing, Cheryl. Oh guys, do me a favour as well. I was going to say share this stream. It's not really important if you do it or not this evening, because as I said, it's not going to be a long investigation. I am here on my own. I tell you what we will do. We'll go to a little place that we were the last time. We'll go down to this little plot down here where these nuns are buried. Now I know there's people in the tennis courts. There may be a bit of noise pollution from them. But hi Catherine. We'll just go to this little plot first while we're waiting on that guy, the grave digger, to go away. I can still see the lights of the digger from here, so whenever he disappears, that's a good idea, Frank. Interview the grave digger. The thing is, I wouldn't really want to go up and put him on the spot now. I should have really asked him before I started the live. If what do you call it? If you would be prepared to be interviewed, you know. But I would say maybe the next time. That's a good idea, Frank. So I'll actually hold on to that thought for the next time I see a grave digger here at St Mary's. I'll just go up and say to him, listen, do you fancy being interviewed, you know? I'm just going to set this motion sensor light down over here. So tonight I haven't got anybody to help me, so just bear with me, guys. This is my first investigation by myself. So we'll just see what happens tonight anyway. I do plan on being on long, as I said. That guy said he'd be away 15 minutes, but whether he will or not's another thing. So just set the motion sensor down in the middle of over here. It's lit up, guys, basically because my hands are on it, but just set it here and then I'll walk away from it and let it go off, and then we'll just see if there's any of the nuns about, just see if we can make a little communication with them just until the grave digger dude goes away, you know. See if we can get through to any of the nuns, because we did the last time, and funny enough, it was actually here, this plot was the first night we used the motion sensor light. It was exactly at this plot here. That was the last time we investigated here, and it actually worked pretty well that night, so it did. It worked pretty well, and we actually got a good lot of evidence that night too. We did a couple of graves over there where people came through, and then myself and Damien, we went round our own family graves, and you know, members of our own family came through and the different plots. Just over here, that's where my family and Damien's family are buried just near beside each other, near enough, you know. So that was a pretty successful investigation that night. You know, hey Barra, hey Jacqueline. So as I said, I'm not going to be out too long tonight because I'm on my own. I couldn't get anybody a short notice after Clodagh's car broke down, you know. Oh, so there's the lights just come on, guys. I haven't even asked a question yet, and I'm nowhere near it. So it could have been just maybe a spur and passing, just walked past and lit up the light. I haven't even asked a question, as you know. It's just come on. I have to say, I really enjoyed last week's investigation. It wasn't last Thursday night, it was last Wednesday night up by Clevione Churches. That was a real good investigation that night, so it was last Wednesday night up by there. We got a shitload of evidence up there last week. You know, we came into contact with a nun who had been dead for 1500 years. You know, we had the motion sensor light just sitting on the windowsill of the church, and as soon as I turned around and asked the question, is Sister Menina among us? Bang, the light lit up, and I couldn't believe it. You know, usually when paranormal investigators go out on an investigation, you know, they can contact maybe spirits that have died a couple of 100 years ago. So to actually get in contact with a nun and a saint who had passed away over 1500 years ago, you know, I was really chuffed with that last week, you know, that Sister Menina came through to us. So there's the light on again, guys, and you know, I haven't even asked a question yet. I'm standing here talking shit to you about last week's investigation. So, you know, it's usually a good sign when the light's coming on and off and you haven't even asked a question. You know, it's usually a sign that, you know, there are plenty of spirits about. So, we'll just wait till it goes off again and we'll see if any of the sisters are here. You know, maybe the light came on because they were acknowledging that it was the nun that we were talking to last week. Because this it's all nuns that are buried in this plot. So we'll just see what the crack is anyway. That gravedigger, he's still over there. See, there's the lights come on again, guys. You know, that's me talking about the nuns. Anytime I mention the nuns, the lights coming on. So it definitely must be the spirit of a nun or nuns that are around us. So we'll just wait for the light to go off and I'll ask the first question. So if there are any spirits around here that would like to come forward and make contact, could you please turn on that light again? Have we got any spirits from the Sisters of Mercy convent on Catherine Street here with us this evening? I have, Frank. I've got the spirit box in my pocket, so I have, yeah. Oh, there's the light just came on, folks. There's the lights just come on. So it may have took a while to answer, but you heard the question. Is there any sisters from the Sisters of Mercy convent in Catherine Street with us this evening? And the light has come on. I don't know whether to put the spirit box on here or not, Frank, because there's a lot of noise contamination from the road and from the tennis courts. So basically, if spirits are trying to get through, you're not really going to hear them properly, because it's hard enough to listen to them coming through on the spirit box, you know, and then you have the noise pollution beside you as well. Well, we'll just see what happens anyway. There we go. I haven't even asked another question and the light's coming on. So, you know, so that is definitely a sign spirits are walking past, whether it's the nuns or not. You know, I am a good distance away from this light sensor. You know, there's no way I could light up with the distance I am away from it. It has to take something to walk past it. There's no animals walking past it, obviously. So, you know. So, sisters, can you tell me how he's been buried here in this plot long? If you've been buried here for less than 5 years, can you please turn on the light? Oh, and that's another thing, guys. I always forget to say this at the start of a stream. During my walk around the graveyard, if you do see anything that maybe you think might be a spirit or something resembling a spirit or anything suspicious at all, just take a few screenshots for me as usual, you know, and send them to me at the end of the live stream. You know, if you see anything at all, I'm just going to pan around here because the light's coming on and off, but anytime you do ask a question, whoever it is doesn't seem to be responding, you know. So maybe it's not the nuns at all. Maybe it's not the nuns. Are we in the presence of the Sisters of the Convent of Mercy? Or is it the Sisters of Poor Clare's from High Street? Are we in the presence of any nuns at all? See, sometimes gay spirits come and go, and when I first got here, I didn't even have to ask questions on the motion sensor light. It was lighting up, and now that I've asked a couple, it's not lighting up. So I might actually just turn on the spirit box and see what comes through. Just give me a couple of seconds while I get it ready. Hi, Irene. So it's actually not too bad being here by myself tonight, but You know, I wouldn't want to be investigating all the time alone. You know, just PSP7. So we'll just turn it on now and see what happens. So guys, I have a monkey hat over my ears because it's very cold here tonight. I mightn't be able to hear properly what's coming out of the spirit box. So again, if you hear anything, just type in the comments what it is that you are hearing coming from the spirit box. So here we go. Oh, just turn the... I always forget to turn the speaker on. There we go, we're on the FM sweep 100 milliseconds. So, have we got any spirits of nuns here with us this evening? Is it the nuns from the Sisters of Mercy in Catherine Street? Or is it the nuns from the Sisters of the Poor Clares from High Street? I can hear a man trying to get through there, guys. Hi, Morris. If there's no spirits of nuns here, can you please come forward and identify who you are? I'm not here to cause any offence. What is the name of the lady that tried to come through there now? You can hear a man too, Jacqueline, yeah? There's a guy trying to get through. Or the gentleman that has been trying to get through, can you come forward and please tell us your name? As I say, guys, I have a monkey hat over my ears and my hood up, plus the noise from the road and the tennis court, so you might be able to hear better than I can what's coming out of the spirit box. Have we got the spirit of Sister Aloysius here with us this evening? Oh, look at that, guys. I asked, have we got the spirit of Sister Aloysius, and the light came on. Ida was the woman's name. Thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you. Ida. Right, now, Catherine, I'm going to go around these plaques here because I think there was a Sister Ida buried here. I'm near sure there was. Sister Mary Fanning, Sister Joseph Teresa McKenna, Sister Patricia Walker, Sister Aloysius O'Shaughnessy. You see, when I asked about the Sister Aloysius, that's when the light came on. And that's the nun that we got in contact the last time that we were here. It was Sister Aloysius. So I'm just going to go over here and check out the names and these other plaques. It might mean me walking across the graves, but I don't mean to do it in disrespect. So have we a Sister Ida here? Sister Patrick Hendricks, Sister Carmela O'Shaughnessy, Sister Colin Bannis Patton, Sister John Doyle, Sister Maria Teresa Lannon, Sister Teresa Dominic Smitty, Mother Xavier Gavin. No, we don't have a Sister Ida, but that's what I thought too, Catherine. I thought it was I thought I heard Ida somewhere along the line too. Oh, your mum heard the name Esther, Jacqueline, yeah? Well, there's a couple of ladies over there. I don't know what they're doing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask a question. So, see, there's the lights come on again. just as soon as I mentioned Esther and Ada. So there could be one of them spirits that are just about. There's two ladies down there. I don't know what they're doing. I hope they don't come up this way. No, they're way on. So, okay, there's the light off again. And listen out for the spirit box as well, guys. So, have we got the spirit of a lady called Ada or Esther here? That's right, Frank. Sometimes the nuns took men's names. So maybe one of the nuns, Ada, was actually her original name, yes. Or Esther could have been the original name. You're right there, yes. Hi, sis. So have we got Esther or Ada here? I'm telling you guys, you see with this hat and hood across my ears, I'm finding it very, very hard to hear this spirit box. And there's a guy still trying to get through, but I can't understand what he's saying. Who is the gentleman that is trying to get through to us? Can you tell us your name? Now, I'm not here to cause you any harm or any offence this evening. Martin, I heard the name Martin there, guys. Danny, if you hear Martin. I just thought I heard Martin coming in there, guys. No. Seems to be now there's not really anything coming through. Can any of you guys hear anything at all? Yeah, that's right. I heard Martin Calvin and oh, did you hear Dennis? Right. Have we got the spirit of a Dennis here among us? Is there a spirit called Dennis here among us? There's that lady trying to get through again. No, nobody else coming through. Right, I've just turned the spirit box off a minute, guys. No, it's just something I want to explain to you. Now, do you see that lady that tried to get through earlier on in the stream? The one that came through with a sort of loud voice, but we couldn't really make out what exactly that she said. Now, I am recognising that voice everywhere I go. No matter what investigation I do, you know, it's the same voice of the same lady, and we still haven't caught her name. Now, I think that is the spirit of... Oh, now there's the light come on, and I just walked down here. I never even asked a question. I don't know what spirits are playing at. When you turn the box off, the light comes on. Anyway, this lady, I am recognising her voice anywhere I go, anytime I turn on the spirit box. I think it's the spirit of a girl called Amelia. I can remember before Christmas when I started doing EVP sessions on spirit, when I first got the spirit box and started doing spirit box sessions down at the little house on the towpath. That's where I always experiment with any of new equipment I get, down at that little house. And there was always the name Amelia coming through. I'm not too sure whether Amelia is a spirit that has followed me from the towpath, or whether Amelia is a lady who could be maybe my guardian angel. I don't know. But all I know is that there was a spirit called Amelia had started to follow us in our investigations. and any time I turned on the spirit box, and now all of a sudden this past while I'm getting this same lady coming through, and it's her voice. It is her voice that I'm hearing all the time. I don't know if any of you guys recognise it, but it's her voice that I'm hearing all the time. So I'm just wondering, was that Amelia trying to get through to us? And I'd really love to know who Amelia is and what it is that Amelia wants with us, you know. Even last night in my own house, because I knew I was doing this investigation tonight, so I just turned on the spirit box in my own house last night for a few minutes just to make sure everything was hunky-dory, and the same lady came through, the same spirit came through last night in my house, the same voice. So I'm just wondering who it is, or do any of you guys might have any idea who it is? You know, anybody that would have more experience than me in sort of dealing with spirits. Do you have any idea who it might be? You know, I'm not too sure whether that's a shadow figure or a headstone up there, but hey Bex, I'm just going to take a couple of screenshots, guys. Now that gravedigger, I think he's moving away at the minute. I think he's moving away. We'll take a couple of screenshots around here by this plot as well, see if I can catch anything. And I'll just walk on down past my own family plot, and we'll go around and see if the gravedigger's near finished. And if he is, then we'll see if we can get in contact with 2 Canadian airmen. You know, there's 17 people watching at the minute, and I know that's relatively few for a page that has a couple of hundred followers, but that's the most we've ever had on a stream. 17, you know. So hopefully the more the page grows, the more word will get about, and the more people will get. Somebody just turned off their own badness to make it 16. So we'll go around and see if that guy, the gravedigger's sorry, just lost signal there a wee minute. Only does go away. What we're going to do, I'm going to set the motion sensor. Here's my family plot. So I'll just set the motion sensor light down beside it, and we'll see if any of this crowd will come through. Just set it on top of here. Do lovely. So here we are. It's on at the minute. That's just because I was handling the thing, obviously, you know. So good man, Frank. You're glad you're finally watching. Are you enjoying it? I'm actually not doing too bad for being on my own, am I? This is my first investigation out by myself. You know, usually I've always had somebody with me, whether it's been the whole gang or just one other person. You know, so this is really just, oh fuck me, 18 people, that's a record. We're beating records tonight, folks. So guys, this is my family plot. This is the Grogan family plot. It's not where my father is buried. A few weeks ago we were in the graveyard where my father was buried, and he actually did come through in the spirit box. Anybody who was watching that stream might recall. Basically who is in this grave is my great grandparents Grogans. They are in here. My grandfather and grandmother Grogan are in here. My uncle Dan is in here, and my 2 aunts, my Aunt Lizzie and my Aunt Maggie, are in here. And now my Aunt Lizzie died when I was very, very young, and all of a sudden I would point. I'm just losing. Sorry guys, I don't know whether you could still hear me, but I just lost signal there. I just lost signal. I do apologise. I don't know why, because I'm in an area where the network is excellent. So I don't know what happened. Maybe spirit activity. But as I was saying, I would just be sitting on the couch, the sofa, whatever you want to call it, and I would just point to anywhere in the room, and my mum would ask, what are you pointing at, Paul? And I would just say, Aunt Lizzie. I can't remember any of this, but apparently that's what happened. I was always seeing my Aunt Lizzie's spirit. And then my Aunt Maggie died in 2002, April 2002, and she'll be 18 years dead this April. And she was like a second mother to me, my Aunt Maggie. There's a few people watching this stream remember my Aunt Maggie from High Street, and I absolutely still miss her to this day. I really, really do, you know. I spent most of my childhood in my Aunt Maggie's house, and it was Aunt Maggie who was actually responsible for getting me interested in the paranormal. She was the one that used to gather us round on a Sunday afternoon, and especially on the cold winter days, and tell us all the ghost stories of the Newry area. Used to be absolutely fascinating, you know, absolutely brilliant, and I've been a paranormal fanatic ever since. Hey Janice, from Scotland, you're very, very welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. You're very welcome. So anyway, we're at the Grogan family plot, so we're just going to see if any of my family's about, and if the light lights up, then we'll maybe turn on the spirit box and see if any of them will come through. The last night we were here, myself and Damien was here with me. It was actually my grandmother, my granny Grogan. She came through to us that night. So okay, if there's any members of the Grogan family here at the minute, can you please turn on that light on top of the headstone? Is there any of the Grogans here this evening? Or is it too cold for yous? I'll tell you just one thing, guys. I'm not expecting my granny to come through here tonight anyway, because she never ever stopped complaining about the cold. I would love me Aunt Maggie to come through, to be honest. But there's no sign of any of the Grogans here tonight. It must be too cold for them. Probably sitting up in heaven, all sitting down to cups of tea and chocolate bickies. That's what Aunt Maggie used to treat us to, chocolate bickies and cups of tea on the cold winter nights. She used to have a class, cracking whorehouse. Is there any of the Grogans here this evening? No. That gravedigger, he's still up there, guys. Despite he said to me he would only be about 15 minutes. You know, there's a chance we mightn't get the Canadian Airmen done this evening at all. Oh, Janice, tell me this here. How did you know my real name was Paul when everybody calls me Pabs? Just turn on this spirit box here and see if any of the Grogans will come through. I'm just basically biding my time, guys, till that gravedigger goes away. If he's not away in the next 15 minutes, we'll come back some other night and see if we can contact the Canadian Airmen. Cause I even went on to eBay a few weeks back, and let me see, I'll show you now. Just as a mark of respect, bought a wee Canadian flag just to sit in their grave. Look, there we go. Just thought I would buy that as a mark of respect. And funny enough, I was just sitting in the house last night thinking about the Canadian flag, and I also thought it could be used as well as a mark of respect what I originally bought it for. It can also be used as maybe as a trigger object, you know. And that's basically a lot of spirits respond to trigger objects. And for anybody that doesn't know it, basically what a trigger object is, it's something that basically spirits would have related to a lot in life. And since I couldn't really find anything in Newry that would relate to Canadian Airmen, they were fighting in the Second World War, they were serving their country. So I thought maybe the Canadian flag, obviously they were proud to be Canadians, that they were serving their country. So I thought the Canadian flag, might be a good way as, marking, showing respect, but also use it as a trigger object as well to see if they will come through. He's still up there in his digger anyway. There's no sign of him leaving. Says to me, I've been no more than 15 minutes. But God love him, guys, because he was telling me, what time was it now anyway? Hold on, let's see. Right, it's 8:55 p.m. here in Ireland, and the poor bugger was telling me he has to travel another 10 miles out the road to another cemetery and dig another grave tonight. See, that's the way it is over here, Margaret. The great grave diggers can be out at any time, because the way funerals work in Ireland, it's not like the UK. If somebody dies in the UK, basically you have to wait a couple of weeks until the council gives permission for the corpse to be buried. Whereas over here in Ireland, when somebody dies, they have to be buried within 2 to 3 days of the actual death. So that's why you will actually find the grave diggers out at any time of the day or night, Good girl, Janice. That's right, I think I stated when I was starting here. I do apologise because a lot of times people call me Pals from now on. I'm never ever called Paul, and if somebody calls me Paul that I don't know, I'm like, how do they know me? But yeah, I think when I was explaining about me Aunt Lizzie, I did say my real name, But basically, Jared McGee, where the hell were you tonight? I'm only joking, mate. So basically that's it, Margaret. That is why the grave diggers be out here at all hours of the day and night, because over here in Ireland, when somebody dies, they have to be buried within 2 to 3 days of the actual death taking place. So yeah. Hi, Candice. So we'll just turn into this spirit box. This dude's still up here. We'll turn on this spirit box. We'll see if we can get through to any of the Grogans. If we can't, guys, I'm going to end the stream and go home, because I'm not going to wait all night for that fucking gobshite over there to go away, We will come back and do the Canadian Airmen some other night. I promise us that. We will come back and try and contact the Canadian Airmen. Even if it's the only thing we do when we come back here. But I do promise us that live stream. And it will be very, very soon. So we'll see anyway. Hopefully he'll be away in a couple of minutes. Oh. I always forget to turn on this damn speaker. Right, again guys, take screenshots, and if you can hear anything on the spirit box. Pool commitments, Jared. Good man. Do you fancy an investigation over the weekend? So, is there any members of the Grogan family here at the minute? Okay. Right, there was a man, folks, came through there and said yes. I don't recognise the voice because I never ever met my Granda Grogan, I never met my Uncle Dan, and I never met my great-grandfather. They had all passed away when I was born. There's that voice trying to get through again, folks. Just hear it, it's going like this here. Oh! That sort of voice. That's the spirit that's following us around, and I want to know who that is. Anyway, if there's any members of the Grogan family here, can you please come through and say hello? It's Paul here. That's right, Jacqueline. I heard him say yes as well. Yes, it's Paul. There's a female voice saying my name. So tell me, which one of you are here with me this evening? Who's here? Is Granda Grogan here? Willie Grogan, is he here? What about Uncle Dan? What about my great-grandfather, whose name I forget, and I am ashamed to say that? That's right, Jared, you've pool commitments and I've school commitments. It says, Mary Allen, are you here tonight? And as well as talk through this spirit box, light up that light there as well, will yous? I'm standing here and my bloody hands are freezing. You see, you Grogans, you like holding everybody back. So, Mary Allen, are you here with us this evening? What about you, Aunt Lizzie? What about you, great granny, whose name I also forget, and that I am ashamed of? And last but not least, my favourite Auntie Maggie, are you here? What do you mean, Jared, just like me in the band days, holding everything back? Excuse me, I was the one who led the band forward. So is there any Grogans here at all? There's a man and a woman trying to get through. Speak slowly and clearly, folks. Sorry, madam, what did you say? Can you say that again, please? I just want to know, are you at peace wherever you are? Well, alright. To members of my family, are you at peace wherever you are? Try and speak slowly and clearly. I know my dad is buried in a different graveyard, but is my dad here tonight? Bro. Yeah, I'm the only one here, Candice. I'm on my own tonight, yeah. Yeah, it's getting very, very hard for me to hear anything coming through this spirit box. I think they've actually gone. Can any of you hear anything? No. Oh well, Candice, yes, that's two people who have just come into the graveyard. They're very, very much living souls. But if anybody has anybody been taking screenshots this evening? If anybody's been taking screenshots, certainly send them to me at the end of the stream, and I will analyse them as usual tonight. And here, listen, I forgot to tell you something. No, I know not on the tennis court, Candice. You're talking about down by the wall here. No, there's three people walking alongside there. They're actually living beings. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, folks. That grave digger's away, so let's go and talk to the Canadian Airmen. And then we're going home. So, I forgot to tell you, because we had to postpone last night's investigation, myself and Clodagh were actually going to investigate the house on the towpath last night. We were going to do it again because the people that I meet every day on the towpath, they're telling me that the paranormal activity around that house is ramping up. And I've sort of noticed it myself when I've been coming back and forward most days. So last night I just waited until it was dark, and I went down, and it was raining, but I had my umbrella with me. And I went down and started taking photographs around the house. And I think I managed to get a couple of things, but I'm not too sure. But on the way back, I was on my way back up the towpath, and I heard somebody walking behind me, and I turned around and shone the torch, and there was nobody on the path whatsoever, nobody about. So, you know, I just snapped a photograph anyways, just to see would anything come out. And what looks like a human figure, no more than maybe 50 feet behind me, appeared in the photograph. I actually forgot to post that on the group last night, so I will post it later on, along with the screenshots that I post from here, you know. And it was actually quite a cool photograph, so I'll post it later so you guys can see it and sort of judge for yourselves what it is. But I heard somebody walking behind me last night, turned around, nobody there, snapped a photograph, and that figure appeared, you know. I'll just get a couple of screenshots while I'm walking over here, just in case anything does turn up, you know. You never know what can happen. His van's still there, although he doesn't appear to be working. So I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. We'll go down this way and come up the other way. Hold on, just get another couple of screenshots. Yeah, just bear with me for a couple of minutes. We'll head down this way, and then we'll come up beside the graves of the Canadian Airmen. We'll come up this way, around the other way. You know. Yeah, but as far as I know, these two Canadian Airmen, they were flying some sort of mission in World War II. What they were doing over the Irish Sea, I'm not too sure whether it was the West Coast or the East Coast they were flying. But apparently their plane crashed anyway, and they ended up being buried in this graveyard here. And funny enough, there is actually quite a few servicemen buried in this graveyard. I would never have expected it, you know. There's a few buried over the other side, and just right across from the Canadian Airmen, there's a Royal Air Force pilot called Rogers. He's buried just across from the Canadian Airmen. And let me see, where do we go here? It's the second row that we go up. It's the second row we go up, yes. This is the second, isn't it? No, here's the second here. Yeah, I can see their gravestones from here, guys. Oh, fuck. I was about to walk through a giant puddle there, just as well I put my head down and let up the path. So here we go up here, guys. But yeah, we smashed all records tonight. We had 22 people watching at one stage. And I'm on my own too. How cool is that? It's my first investigation by myself, folks. I don't think I've done too bad. So here we are, guys. This is the grave of the two Canadian Airmen. And as I see it just across, this is the grave of the Royal Air Force pilot. What's his first name? Hold on to see. It's very, very badly inscribed, this one, folks. But we're not going to get in contact. You can see it better during the day. But even with a torch, you can't really see it. We'll not really try and get in contact with that gentleman tonight, folks, just in case he has any relatives still living in the Newry area. and who wouldn't really appreciate us maybe trying to do that, you know. So we'll just try and contact these two Canadian airmen. As I said, a couple of weeks ago I got a wee Canadian flag off eBay just as a mark of respect, but as I said last night, I was just sitting thinking about it, and I thought it might be able to be used as a trigger object, you know. So we'll go over here and we'll just walk around it. I don't want to be walking under graves, you know. We'll just walk around, and there's a wee hole in here somewhere, yeah. Let's see. Will that fit in there, yeah? There we go. So there we are, guys. There's the flag down. And where's the motion sensor light? We'll just set it here. It's on because I'm handling it. So we'll just stall about here for a couple of minutes, guys, and we'll see what happens. Then we'll turn the spirit box on, and we'll see if we can get in contact with them, you know. We'll just wait for that light to go off, and we'll see. And then after that, because it's getting very, very cold here, so after that my hands are freezing, we'll go home and we'll drink hot chocolate all night. Well, I'll drink hot chocolate all night and stuff my face with Galaxy chocolate. Oh, they're all finished in the tennis courts anyway, so it's a pity we couldn't. Oh, there's that light on, and I haven't even asked a question, guys, and I am standing a good bit away from it. So as you can see, there's the wee Canadian flag just standing there. So hopefully that will act as some sort of trigger object, you know. So just wait for that light to go off again, folks. We'll see. I'm looking for a beautiful lady to drink hot chocolate with me every night. Okay, there's the light off. So Frank, Galaxy is a type of chocolate we get over here, and I'll tell you, it's the nicest chocolate you will ever taste. Galaxy chocolate, it's absolutely amazing, so it is. As I hear, tell me this, folks, before I start asking questions, you know, I like to get people involved. The people who watch us, I like to get you guys involved. Is there any questions you would like me to ask on your behalf of the Canadian Airmen? You know, because basically what we do, we just stand at people's graves and we ask the same questions. Has anybody else got any other questions that can that they would like to ask? Well, as you're thinking of what to ask, I'll just ask a couple anyway. So I would just like to explain, you know, I'm here tonight with a lot of respect. Of the two Canadian airmen that died during World War II, if you are here in this cemetery this evening, if you are with us, can you come forward and please light up that little motion sensor on top of the headstone? Don't be afraid to come forward, gentlemen. I don't mean any harm, I don't mean any offence. And personally, I would like to thank you for serving for Canada in World War II. It was tragic what happened. You know, I'm here tonight just to communicate and just to make sure you're both at peace wherever you are now. So if you are here, feel free just to step up beside that little light, and once you stand in front of it, it will light up just to let me know that you are here among us. Oh, Anna Long was used as an airbase, Morris. Oh, right. So maybe that's what they're... So it must have been on the east coast then that the plane crashed. I didn't know that. Now, I would know a brave lot of history around the Newry area. I didn't know there was an airbase in Anna Long now. But I will be honest, folks, despite knowing a lot of history from my own town, I still had no idea there was 2 Canadian airmen buried here until the first investigation that we did here. I will be honest about that. They don't seem to be present. Don't be afraid to come forward, guys. Now, it could just be a fault in the motion sensor light, because when I was down at the house at the towpath today, I was having a lot of problems with the motion sensor light. It did actually break at one stage, and I just found that it was the little spring where the battery goes in. It was a wee bit loose. Maybe it's come loose tonight again. Maybe that's why it's not lighting up now. You know, so maybe they are among us. So that's why I was a wee bit worried about even taking that out with me tonight, the motion sensor light. But it seemed to have worked in the early part of the night. You know, we got evidence that there was people down by the plot where the nuns were, you know. So we'll just see what happens. No, it's not lighting up, so it must actually be broke. So what we'll do, guys, we'll just stick the spirit box on for a couple of minutes. Oh! I think the Canadian airmen are just messing us about. As soon as I say it, I think it's broke. The next thing it comes on, the guys light it up. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for responding to us. So we know now that the light isn't broke and that you are in our presence. So, yeah, you'll have the spirit box here, Catherine. Yes, the airmen seem to agree with the spirit box as well. As soon as I mentioned spirit box, the light came on. Hold on, just let's see. I'll wait for it to go off again. One wee second. I just hope they're here. So, guys, if you are willing to make contact with us through this little device, can you please light up the light again? That's right, Morris. I think there was Yanks stationed there during the war. Were you guys stationed in Anna Long, or the Anna Long Kilkeel direction during the Second World War? Nah, gone again. That's right. They were stationed in Anna Long, Kilkeel. They were stationed in Rostrevor as well. And Aunt Maggie and Lizzie, they actually worked in Narrowwater Castle. There was Yanks stationed down there too. Yeah, the Yanks were stationed in Narrowwater Castle as well. Because remember, my Aunt Maggie and Lizzie, they went down to work in the kitchens down there. And again, Aunt Maggie came out with some cracking ghost stories about Narrowwater Castle and what her and Lizzie experienced down there. Hello, Randy. So just turn on the spirit box for a few minutes, guys. It's getting very cold. I'm freezing. We'll see if we can make contact with the 2 Canadian airmen, and I hope they will come forward and talk to us. Again, I can hardly hear a thing because of that much stuff covering my ears, so I'm relying on you guys to be my ears tonight and my eyes. I'll just take a screenshot here. You know, I would love to pick one of these guys up on camera. So, if the rest of you maybe take screenshots too. Turn the spirit box on anyway. I know, sis, some of the Canadians might be offended being referred to as Yanks, but what we mean is they could have been stationed in the same area. I'm not referring to the Canadians as Yanks. No way am I. But so, if the spirits of the 2 Canadian airmen who fought in the Second World War, if you're among us, can you come forward and confirm your presence into this little device? Oh, I heard something there, and it was a sort of a French accent, guys. Remember, some Canadians actually, because of French, the way the used to rule Canada, some Canadians actually spoke with a French accent. There was somebody with a French accent come through there, guys. And there's one of these guys here that actually has a French name. So, the gentleman with the French accent, can you come forward please and confirm your name? Can you confirm that your name is Louis Dubuc? Yeah, French Canadian says, yeah. Oh, there was somebody else came through, guys. Bonjour, monsieur. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Somebody said it back to me. Somebody's only out there saying that back to me. Holy shit. Guys, there's somebody talking in a French Canadian accent. Are any of you picking up on what he's saying? Can you just tell me, guys, are you 2 guys at peace where you are now? Yeah, that was it, sis. Bonjour, monsieur. And as soon as I said that, somebody came through and said it back to me. There's a couple of people trying to get through here at this graveside. More than was at the nun's plot, and actually more than that was at my family plot. See, there's a guy speaking in a French Canadian accent. I just can't understand what he's saying. So guys, can you confirm, was it the east coast of Ireland where your plane crashed? Oh, there's the light on. That could possibly be confirming that it was the east coast of Ireland where they crashed. I'll just wait this off and I'll ask another question. You see, there's somebody with a French Canadian accent, folks, trying to get through, but I am not understanding them very well. Guys, I hope you're happy with the fact that I placed a little Canadian flag on your graveside. I just wanted to do it as a mark of respect. I can't understand what these guys are saying. There's definitely a guy, sounds Canadian or some sort of accent from over there coming through. So guys, can you tell me what happened that fateful night? Was it just the result of a mechanical error? Or was your plane shot down? I just want you to speak very slow and very clear, so we can't understand. Guys, I'm going to put this on to the AM frequency and just slow it down a little bit, just to see if it'll work better. Okay, so is that better, guys? Can you hear me better through this frequency? I'm talking to the two Canadian airmen. Just answer yes or no. I think this frequency's a bit of crap, guys. We'll get back to the FM. I think them two guys are gone. Oh, you thought they said that we drowned? So guys, one of the people watching it, my sister, has said that she heard that you said that you drowned. Can you come forward and confirm this? Yes, yes, you're right. I just heard somebody saying there we drowned. I will say it again for the second time. So obviously they weren't killed on impact when the plane hit the sea. Well, gentlemen, I am really, really sorry to hear that. You know, I'm really sorry to hear you went through such a horrendous death. You know, it's one of the worst ways to die is drowning. But I would just like to thank you for your service during the Second World War. And I will come back here some night. Hopefully some night when there's less traffic on this box and we're able to hear you properly. So I would like just to ask Erman to book, did you spend any time in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police? Erman de Book, did you spend any time in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police? No. I think we've lost them, folks. Nobody else coming through. All I can hear now is just the radio stations being scanned through. Now, just the last couple of minutes there, guys, it was just the radio station's been scanned through, and that light hasn't come on in what, 10-15 minutes. I just Julie there. Oh, there's it on now. It always happens when they turn the spirit box off. They always come and turn the light on again. You know. So it's getting cold here now, folks. I am going to have to go home. Now we aren't finished here. Now I don't want to be doing investigations in the same places over and over again. But we didn't really get that much information from the Canadian Airmen tonight. Now we drowned, and there's a couple of other things came through. There was a guy with a sort of French Canadian accent who was trying his best to say something, but just couldn't quite understand it, you know. Too much, you're right, Catherine, could be too much weather interference is right, because it is starting to get a bit windy. I'm not going to say it was a bad investigation. I'll just say goodnight to the Canadian Airmen. Guys, listen, thanks very much for your time this evening, and we will come back some other time very soon to talk to you, hopefully in better weather. I hope you like that little flag I brought you, and God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. So, yeah. Oh, jeez, it is cold here. So, but I'm actually quite pleased with the way the investigation went this evening. You know, I mean, it's the first investigation I've done by myself, and we had record viewers. You know, so no, I'm only joking, because the reality of it is, I couldn't really do it all alone. I do need my co-investigators with me, you know. But it's time to go home, guys. Time to end the stream. And I know I was on my own tonight, and I hope I done a good enough job, you know, because that's one thing. When we come out and do live streams, we just want you guys to enjoy it, you know. We hope you enjoy watching just as much as we enjoy doing it, you know. Unfortunately, as I said, you know, Clodagh's car broke down earlier on, so she couldn't make it this evening. It wasn't her fault. So I just decided to come out on my own anyway, because I promised you guys an investigation this week. I told you I was going to do one. So I said to myself, you know, even if I had to do it by myself, I'll do one this evening, you know. But I enjoyed doing it. You know, we didn't get as much evidence this evening as we usually get. But you're going to get that. You're going to get weeks where you're going to get loads of evidence, both visually and audio. And this evening, the nuns plot wasn't very active. My family plot wasn't very active. You know, right enough now, there was, I think one of them Canadian Airmen was trying his best to get through, and we just couldn't hear him properly. This is what you call Calvary. I'm not taking the piss when I say that. The Catholic Church in Newry actually has nicknamed this part of the graveyard Calvary. Or not nicknamed it, called it Calvary. So, one of the Canadian Airmen, I reckon, was definitely trying his best to get through. But as Catherine said there a few minutes ago, probably too much weather interference. Had it started to get very windy again, and my hands started to get cold. You know, my fingers are freezing. So, but we will come back and try to get through to them again at some stage. Now, I think we're due another storm this weekend, guys, as far as I know. But the definite trajectory of the storm isn't 100% yet. But I think we're going to have one that's going to hit Ireland and the UK again. If it doesn't happen, and we do happen to get some good weather, I'll hopefully maybe get out over the weekend at some time. Even if I am on my own again, but I hope maybe Jared will come with me, the guy that was commenting earlier on. There is only certain nights he can make it to, you know. So I hope maybe he'll come with me over the weekend. If not, I'll try and get one done on my own, depending on what the weather's like, you know. I was on the phone. No, actually, there was a guy phoned me. It was a woman phoned me this morning from Daisy Hill Hospital in Newry, and she said I would have to put a letter in writing to the administration to investigate Daisy Hill Hospital. So that's what we're going to try and do. I'm going to write out a letter tomorrow and get it sent away. St Luke's Hospital in Armagh. It's a former mental institution, and I'm looking permission to investigate it too, because it is active. It is very, very active. And I actually sent away an email today, because I was talking to the guy that can actually do it for us, but he says I have to put an official email, put a request in by email. So I did that today, and then he's going to talk to the directors of St Luke's Hospital, and maybe we might get investigating down there. Armagh, for anybody who isn't from Ireland, the likes of our overseas viewers, Armagh is a city about 20 miles away from Newry. So hopefully we'll get investigating that former mental institution in a wee while. And also the medieval graveyard that we did last week, it was that successful. I actually plan on going back there, but we do have a couple of medieval graveyards coming up in the pipeline as well. We'll have a couple of different ones that we're going to investigate too. So just when the weather's right, folks, we actually do have exciting investigations. I just came round here tonight because with the weather I really couldn't venture far. You know, this graveyard, I only live 5 minutes around the corner. So but definitely when the weather gets better, guys, we'll have you know, more exciting investigations. But anyway, listen, I'm going to go home and start drinking hot chocolate. So I would just like to thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next investigation. Good night, God bless, take care, love yous loads.